Today on Gun Talk, it's all about concealed carry. Ryan shows the gear, from small guns to big, and the techniques you need to master. And I'll cover the most common questions right now on Gun Talk. It's interesting, when people get their carry permit, sometimes they don't carry at all. Really? Why'd you get the permit? Why'd you get the training? And then some people will say, well, you know, I don't carry everywhere. I don't carry all the time. Wow, it must be great to be clairvoyant, to know when the bad guys are gonna attack. If you knew when and where the attack was gonna come, you just would decline the invitation and not go there in the first place. We don't know when we're gonna be attacked. We don't know when bad things are gonna happen. It just happens. In other words, you need to carry all the time. By carrying every day, you get comfortable with it. You also start programming yourself that you are the sheepdog. You are the one who's watching out for your family, your wife, your children, your husband. You have taken on the duty to protect them. Imagine how you would feel if on that particular day you decided it's too hot, it's too inconvenient, the gun's too heavy, oh, I want to dress differently. And for the rest of your life, you will curse yourself every single day for being so stupid that you decided to leave your gun at home. Every day when you put that gun on, you say, this is the day I'm going to need it. And you program yourself to be aware, to be ready, and it reduces the reaction time if you need it. Carry every day.
Let's talk about one-handed shooting for a minute. This is an XDS 9mm, which is a perfect self-defense gun. Just the kind of gun you're gonna have when something might happen, like what we're talking about. The reason you would shoot one-handed is because you can't use two hands, or the speed or the difficulty of the shot is so little that you don't care about gaining the control. Remember, two-handed shooting isn't necessarily better than one-handed shooting, it's just faster. You can still be accurate with one-handed. When you're at this kind of distances here, you're basically contact distance. If something happened to this distance, you probably wouldn't bother putting two hands on because you put the gun right on the target. You may be in a position where you're something like this and making room. The normal move you're gonna see off of this is basically making a little distance, and you'll go one-handed. And that's the way you're gonna shoot the shot, okay? You may choose to move back further. You may not have access of this hand to shoot at this point, even though it would help with the control, because maybe you make it up. You could be injured. You could be holding the doorway open. You could be holding your children behind you. And either way, you can still make good shots with one hand. It just may not be as fast, but it's gonna be fast enough if you have a couple good techniques. One, get your arm straight. Don't have this gun back here, okay? The only reason to have the gun away is if you're keeping it out of reach of somebody else. Once you're out of the way of that target and could clear it, get your arm out, because it works like basically pointing a fire hose. Wherever you look, you're gonna point the gun. You look over the top of the sights and then you pull the trigger, but rigidity in your arm position is everything. So as you come out and shoot it, okay? Keep your arm straight. It'll control the recoil better. If you let the gun go soft and let the gun bounce and it starts moving like this, it's gonna slow down your speed. Then you'll speed up to gain speed, and that's how you lose accuracy. So get the arm straight, okay? And you'll always shoot good shots, you just won't be quite as fast. And that's the point.
You have your concealed carry permit. You decided to start carrying. Now what? Well, you know, your behavior has to change a bit. First of all, when you walk around, you're gonna feel like there's a sign over your head that says, man with a gun, man with a gun. Well, it's not there, and other people can't see that you're wearing a gun. So stop fiddling with it. Stop trying to touch it with your elbow, patting it with your hand. Don't call attention to the fact that you have a gun on. It's covered, you got concealed carry, you're doing it the right way. Now, you're gonna need to adjust a few things. How are you gonna reach up high? Is a shirt gonna come up and expose that gun? When you bend over to pick up something, is your shirt gonna stretch out and the imprint of the gun is gonna show there? Instead of just bending over, maybe you squat down to pick up something so that your gun doesn't print when your shirt gets tight back there. How you hug somebody. Women are real huggers. They'll come up and grab you and hug you. Well, that hand will tend to go right down and touch your gun. So you may want to work on the whole idea of when you see a hand that looks like it's going down low, you go down lower and do the hug, and that keeps her hand up above so it's not going to touch your gun. And for women, look, if you're carrying in a purse, you need to think about how you're going to get it out of there. A gun in a purse still needs to be in a holster because you have to keep things out of the trigger guard and away from the trigger. You also might want to get some training at the range and work on shooting right through a purse. A snub-nose revolver, a hammerless revolver is a really good tool for that. You can shoot right through a purse multiple times with a hammerless revolver and nothing gets jammed. Can't really do it with a semi-auto because the slide starts working and it's liable to jam. Practice your behavior. Work on what you're doing. At first, it's all gonna feel uncomfortable. After about a month of carrying all the time, you'll feel uncomfortable if you're not wearing a gun.